And we're back for another episode of 8121 Talk.
We are back.
Mm-hmm.
We got to talk today.
Yeah, we do.
It's something that's been on our lips.
Okay, our lips and our minds.
We've been talking about it for a while. So let's just jump right into it.
Okay.
You ever felt like, you're dealing with somebody, you go, do I owe you?
Mm-hmm.
You ever felt like you ask yourself the question, why do you assume I will?
I will.
Whatever it may be.
Okay.
But you ask that to somebody, like, why do you assume
right.
that I will?
Mm-hmm.
Am I supposed to?
Mm-hmm.
Is there some sort of silent agreement between us where I'm supposed to do what you're asking me to? You ever felt like that?
Silent agreement.
Mm-hmm. How about why me?
Why
Out of
me?
all the people, why me?
Why me? Okay.
Right.
Okay.
How about this question? You think I'm stupid?
Now, are we asking ourselves this question, or are we asking
you,
people?
have you ever asked yourself?
Oh yeah,
those
definitely.
questions?
Yeah.
Right. If you've ever asked yourself those questions, now we talking to America. Your people, the people that are listening.
America.
Right. If you ask that question,
Mm-hmm.
then this episode is definitely for you. Definitely. Let's talk about entitlement.
Entitlement.
And a little bit of enabling.
Okay.
You ready to get it in?
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
We're going to have a real show tonight. A little different from the way most of the show's been going down. Do everything with our heart and do it good.
It's Alan Elijah.
We'll be recording live tonight.
It's the moment that all of you've been waiting for. It's the moment that
Like you said earlier, like I'm saying right now, we are back.
We're back.
And I want to start off this episode. I think it's number 11.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
sure.
11.
Number 11. What is entitlement? What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to me?
Yes.
It's a sense of expectation, I guess you could say.
From someone?
From someone. They expect you to do the things that they want you to do.
On a frequent basis?
Yeah, frequent basis, or
was it just one time for you?
No, it could be. No, it's probably plenty times.
Probably plenty times.
Right.
Okay, so
and then they expect you to do it on no foundation.
No foundation.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they don't have a foundation to stand on where they expect me to do something for them.
We're going to get into that later.
Okay.
But I asked you that question because I wanted to hear what you would say, because I know you would make it nice and easy for people to follow. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I can get a little textbooky.
What does Webster say?
Webster says the fact that someone is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. They believe inherently they are deserving of privileges and special treatment. I'm sure we all know somebody like that.
I'm sure we do.
I'm sure we do.
We probably know several.
Yeah.
Several.
Just out of the blue, like, yo, man, I ain't got time for all that. But we know people like that.
Yeah.
And this is earlier in the intro, I said something about enabling. This is like, it's a question in regards to what we just did, defining entitlement. So that question is this. This is the question I'm going to ask. How does it happen?
How does it happen? Well, based on the definition, it happens because they believe that they deserve it.
They deserve it, right? So do you have anything to do with it, or is just?
I mean, when you talk about enabling, I guess if we continue to meet their expectations,
right,
then yeah, then we are
Right.
sort of kind of enabling, but
Yeah. See, it's weird because today I'm looking around on the internet and I'm looking for different definitions and things like that because I wanted to be very, very clear on what we're talking about. So I looked up, how does it happen? Well, see, what's that thing called? WebMD?
yes,
WebMD says has nothing to do with you. It's a disorder.
right.
I've never looked at that. When I hear selfish, self-absorbed and things like that, I think that's just how you are, or that's how it's. I don't know. I never thought of it as
So
a disorder.
entitlement is a disorder?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
So let me do this. How does it happen? A person develops a self-absorbed view of the world and little regard or empathy for their impact on others. Like, okay. So are they saying like a person will feel entitled and come to you about whatever it is they want or they need, right? And also at the same time, mentally, they are so self-absorbed that they don't realize how it's impacting you or let me give an example like this.
Okay.
I keep coming to you asking for money. Every time. Like, yo, can I get this? Can I get that? Can I get this? I almost said a name. I almost said that. We're not doing that today. Okay. Woosah. Woosah. But at the same time, that person is not going, well, how's your family? Anything you got pressing in your life that you need to take care of?
Right.
How you doing? Okay. So that's an example of being self-absorbed and you have no empathy.
Right.
And you don't really care about how you're affecting that person or how what you're doing to this person is affecting other people.
Around them.
Right?
Right.
Does that sound clear?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
because I think about entitlement, and I also think about enabling. Because in my experience, most of the time that people were being entitled or acting like they're entitled to something around me, it's because I enabled it. I didn't say, yo, ain't nothing happening here.
Right. But if that's just who you are as a person who likes to help others, you have empathy, you have compassion, you are giving, you're generous. So if that's who you are as a person, is that still being an enabler? So
It's a tough one.
that'd be indirectly enabling?
So you're saying if you're a person that's giving and you're not really checking like that, you got it, so you give it, you are not consciously enabling somebody. But at the end of the day, I guess to define it so you can really look at it, you are.
You are.
If that makes sense. You are. I mean,
Okay.
take the title. Because when you take the title, it forces you, I think, to examine, hey, what am I doing here? I'm enabling this person. You didn't go out and intentionally enable them. Right. But you have to take that title enabler. So eventually, once you examine it, you can turn around and say, I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah. You could say it, but you probably end up doing it. Until you get to a certain point.
Now we're going to get down and dirty here. Okay. So it depends on who we're talking about. You see, if you're talking about your wife, if I'm talking about wife, it might be a little harder. If I'm talking about kids, it might be a little harder. But if I'm talking about, well, let me give some more. If you're talking about Uncle James or Cousin Sue, they are on a level too, not as much as your kids, not as much as your spouse, whatever. And the spouse and the kids can be flip-flop. But if we talking about somebody like a friend.
Peter out on the street.
Yeah. It might be a little easier to do it more so than
Mm-hmm.
blood, family,
Or
spouse.
Carlos in the office.
Carlos in the office.
You got that one person that you work with that come to you for everything. Hey, so I need a little help with this report. Hey, can you knock that out for me?
Yeah. Yeah. With no regard to you may be doing something of your own.
Right.
And maybe it's not even that deep. It's like, I just don't feel like doing that.
Right. And then they expect you to do it.
Yeah, they expect you to.
And then what happens when you don't do it?
Well, it's a few things that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get to that. But it's a few things that happen. But let's stay in this
Okay.
levels, the levels to it. Okay. I'm just going to make something up out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you got a cousin.
Mm.
You know him. You didn't really hang out with him. You didn't go to hula hoop practice with him. You didn't do all that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you feel like it's my blood,
Mm-hmm.
and I got it, and I can help them,
Mm-hmm.
but they doing too much,
Right.
right? And then you sitting there going, wait a minute, because especially with our dynamics, mom's gone, and there ain't too many relatives around, so
right.
you like, oh, let me help.
All the elders are gone.
Yeah, so you like, let me help,
Mm-hmm.
right? How easy is it to shut that person down?
It's not easy. It wouldn't be easy.
Because of the circumstances, right?
The circumstances, and because of I'm just going to say who I am as a person, is hard to say to somebody no. Even if I do have it, but when they have that sense of entitlement and they expect me to give to them every time they ask me, and like you said, without even asking me, like, hey, you good, cuz? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Or, hey, you got this going on? Oh, okay. Not even that. So then it's going to come to a point where I'm going to be like, you know what? I can't help you.
Right.
But I feel bad
Have you
about not helping.
Have you ever because I've done this before.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever leaned on somebody because you didn't want to hurt that person's feeling? So you lean on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll tell my man, yo, somehow when y'all talking, because I know this guy's gonna, yo, could you do this for me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, and we're gonna get to this part, how they make you feel later.
Mm-hmm.
But I would tell my man like Wendell,
Mm-hmm.
when you talking to him, say something like, yo, dude can't be doing that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yo, I've had someone to say to me, now this is a real life thing, where me and Wendell had it set up to where person, yo, he asking for records,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Wendell, jokingly, but is he really joking, might say, bro, he don't say bruh, but you always asking for stuff, man. Like, man, sit down somewhere. Ain't you got money?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever used somebody on the side like that to shut it down because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings or whatever the circumstance may be, blood or whatever?
Yeah, I'll say, so I talked to my husband about it and he said, la, 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 la.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
That was a good move. And because that was a good move, let me do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to say, hey, let me talk to my spouse about it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a situation where it's kind of tricky. It wasn't really entitlement, but it was.
Mm-hmm.
And very personal because it's my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted something,
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was doing the right thing by saying to who I was with at the time, yo, my mother wants X, Y, Z,
Mm-hmm.
blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it turned out so ugly.
Mm.
So I drifted off a little bit, but what I'm actually saying is you do have to check with your spouse first.
You do.
Right. And sometimes if you know your spouse well,
Mm-hmm.
you know a big NO is coming around that
Oh
corner.
yeah.
You know
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You know it. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it is okay to lean on somebody else and say, hey, I got to speak to this person and that person come and clean it up for you. But you don't have that option all the time.
No, you don't. You don't have that option. But I mean, entitlement. You just, you just like, okay. And then they try to make you feel like you wrong.
You're wrong. I struggle with that, looking for a meaning. You know?
Right. And it's not just like with saying like money and stuff like that. It's expecting anything, you know, your time, your assistance, to be treated a certain way when you don't deserve to be treated that way, or they expect you to respect them when they haven't done anything to earn your respect. It's just like,
Or they expect you to continue the favor you once gave them.
right, like
beyond its limit.
right, like I'm supposed to keep on. I mean,
Yeah.
I helped you out one
Yeah.
time. Now I got to do it every time.
Yeah. Now you hearing crazy stuff.
Right. Or
Like I got a flat tire.
right.
Or you hearing crazy stuff. You know, one of the craziest things I've ever heard was you're gonna laugh at this. One of the craziest things I ever heard was, it's my anniversary and I want to take my spouse out. So can I borrow? The first time I heard that, I go, wait a minute. You had a whole year since your last anniversary.
To save up for it.
Are you serious right now? You
And how's the
freestyling.
funky little $40 going to help you with? Oh, yeah.
Did you just throw a number out there?
Yeah,
Which
but
adds it adds some validity to,
right.
okay.
Or you hear, so yeah, my brother is staying with me now and I need money to buy groceries because he eats a lot.
How old is the brother?
I don't know, but what's that got to do with me?
Yeah.
Because I got people I got to feed too. But anyway, let me stop.
Stop.
Let me stop on that.
Did
You know,
you ever think that possibly this person, see, we killing it right now. So not did you ever think, hypothetically, would you have said, yo, are you on drugs?
maybe. But let's move off of that example. If you talk to
Okay. Well, what I was going to say, if anybody's listening, they know that's not an example because of the way we're talking and stuff.
right,
But
so,
we had that experience.
yes,
So we'll leave it alone.
Yes,
right
yes. If you speak to old school military, or you talk to the older NCOs or the officers, and the first thing they say about these new soldiers these
Right.
days is they so entitled. Entitled.
But
They want to be coddled. They want to have their way.
right.
They want to have their freedom to do the things that civilians do.
But is that the same type of entitlement we're talking about? You
Well, it's
you feel
different
it is?
types of entitlement,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
entitlement is entitlement, right?
Yeah, attitudes change along the way.
Regardless
Yeah.
of what type of entitled or what you feel entitled to, you feel that it is your God-given right to have whatever it is that you feel that you're entitled to, no matter what the situation is. And that's not true. So people think they're entitled because of who they are,
Right.
or they feel like they're entitled because of their station in life,
Okay.
or they feel like they're entitled because they have a little power.
Okay.
But
And some people
none of
just
that makes
crazy.
you entitled.
Some people just crazy.
Some people are just born entitled.
Yeah. You know, you segued into something I want to touch. On the everyday, when you're dealing with friends or cousins or whatever, I can sort of look into that and see why they may feel that way. But this is where you get a little crazy at. You mentioned station in life, and you don't have to say it because the views expressed by this party are not necessarily the views expressed by the co-party. Is that good enough for a
Sure, go
disclaimer?
ahead.
Sometimes white people can be a little entitled.
That is true.
The clear example was
Some of them.
some of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
This a clear example was that Montgomery boat ride thing.
Oh yeah.
That was entitlement.
Yeah, because how you going to be upset and say no when a person in authority says, "Hey, you got to move your boat.
Yeah.
This dock,
Yeah.
this belongs to someone else, and the boat's coming
Yeah,
in, the
yeah.
hotel, blah blah blah," and then you say no and throw a punch.
Right. You say no and throw a punch. I'm not going to get into what happened, the chairs. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just talking about
One chair after the other. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
I'm just talking about big up to, what is it, Merc? What did the guy call it?
I don't even know. They've been calling it some everything.
Big up to Montgomery.
Montgomery. The gun.
I did those three for a reason.
Okay.
But anyway, that, was, for me, that's like a defining moment in things I've seen in my 55 years. There's a certain ethnicity that sometimes, whether you're in a store or you at a counter and you start to see the entitlement or some business transaction, you see the entitlement. When I don't know how I feel about that.
Right.
But I know it exists.
Right. I mean, entitlement just exists everywhere. And
Yeah.
like I said, power, station in life,
Yeah.
relation,
Right,
the relationship they have to you.
Right.
It's just something else. And I really think that people who are kind-hearted get taken advantage of by people who feel entitled.
We can drift off because I had a situation where I don't even think this person was entitled. They just knew I didn't have the heart to say no. So you got to be careful with those type of people too, because that's just using and abusing. It's really not entitlement. They know they can. Let's talk normal. They know they can punk you. You ain't gonna say no.
Well, is it so much as punk you? It's like they just know
you ain't gonna say no.
That you're not gonna say no, but it's not punking. It's just they know you're not gonna say no, so they gonna keep on asking. In my experience,
that's why I said, in my experience, that's what it was. I said something, I don't know if you remember this, but if I know you have some sort of affinity for me, right? I ask you a question. Yolanda, could you go to the store for me? I say nothing else. Because of the affinity you have for me, or you care for me, or whatever, you don't want me to be upset with you, or you don't want me to feel I'm saying something, whatever the case may be. The reason I be quiet because I make you answer.
Right.
It's psychological warfare. So if I say
that's manipulation.
Yes.
Or as Mr. Brown says, you manipulated me.
You manipulated. Right. But I've done it myself because I know that the person had a hard time expressing, what's the word when you're not going along with it? Difference, right? They had a hard time expressing difference to me. So, let me borrow your turntable. And I'll be quiet. See, a person that's not good at it will do this. Can I borrow your turntable? Matter of fact, let's play it out right now, right? Can I borrow your microphone right there? I mean, if you're using it for something, it's okay.
I mean, when I get finished, you can borrow it.
Right. So you're taking our situation right now and you're going straight for the throat. But what I'm saying is, when I jumped in and said, I mean, if you're doing something with it, it's okay. I gave you a route out, right? But if I come back and ask the same question, can I borrow your microphone?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Right.
But if you really had some hesitation and I give you a rope, so to speak, well, if you're busy, you got to use it. And then you come back in your mind and you say, yeah, I got to use it. I'd let you out. Manipulation like that. So you don't consider that entitlement?
I think it's a mix.
It's a mix.
Yeah.
Which
I mean,
leads-
things
go
are,
ahead.
a lot of things overlap.
Right, which leads me into the next thing. When you say no, or when you shut it down, or when you say no more, how do you feel when you do that?
I feel bad. I would feel bad. Even though I know that I have to do it to protect myself. You know? Because I always have a hard time saying no.
Right,
But I've done so much better with saying no in these past 10 years.
right. So, in most cases, when people don't get what they want, they tend to play the victim.
Yeah, and make you feel guilty.
And we struggle with this definition, gaslighting, where let's define gaslighting. It's belittling you into making you feel guilty for not giving into their wants or needs. I struggle with the word play victim, gaslighting. Like you said, it's a combination of things. But I'm going to use gaslighting.
Okay.
So when that starts, they tugging on what the old school people say?
Tug on your heartstrings.
Tugging on your heartstrings. Gaslighting. And you sitting there like, you even reach the level where it's like, I should just give it to them.
So
They can leave me alone with it.
right. But then you know for yourself that when you do give in, not just give it to them, but give in to whatever they expect you
They'll
to
be
do.
back.
They're going to continue to do it. So finally you got to put your foot down and say, you know what? I can't do this no more. But then you feel bad about it. And then they don't make you feel any better because they try to make you feel guilty.
It's tough.
But the difference between, I guess, entitlement and someone just so used to you helping them out is if that person gets upset and don't talk to you anymore, then that is straight entitlement and selfishness and everything else that go along with it.
Right. But you have to know it. You have to notice it. I'm saying you as the person that's being manipulated, victim of someone that has a sense of entitlement. You have to say to yourself, all right, this person bugging.
Yeah.
I gotta get away from this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My mother told me, let's say if you ask me for $5 and you say, I'm gonna give it back to you on Friday. You don't give it back. Guess what I'm gonna do? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
You know why? This is what my mom's told me. Take that $5, keep it, because it's a down payment on leave me alone.
Mama Ann.
Because you know that old saying, as long as I owe you, you never go broke. I'm saying, as long as you owe me, you can never ask again.
Right.
So,
right.
but it's a shame you got to go to those levels.
Right.
And it's not all the time monetary.
Right.
It might just be your time, favors. It might be you sitting on the phone and someone talks about themselves consistently.
Right.
Consistently. When I say consistently, over a group of phone calls, it's like, you serious right now?
Right.
But hey, it is what it is. I mean, what can you do about it? I'm gonna
cut them off.
Cut them off. Yeah. Cut them off. This is the last thing we talk about, then we out of here.
Okay.
Your style of cutting them off. I'll go first.
Okay.
My style is usually, and I'm not saying it's right, my style is usually with silence. Yo, hey man, I need $1,500. I'm gonna need you to blah, 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 blah. So usually my thing is inner. I'll say, mother, is you bugging? Outwardly, I'll say, all right. And then I'll never speak to you about that subject again.
Okay.
That's my style.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's right, because my mom used to tell me that ain't right.
Okay.
And the reason, let me add this, and the reason she would say that, here's his $5 go again. If I ask you for $5 and I say, and you say, I'll give it to you in the morning. What does that do to me as the person that needs the $5? I will stop asking. But if you're lying to me, you actually put me in a situation where I could have asked John, Mary, Sue until I secured the $5 that I need. We're not talking about entitlement. We're talking about someone that actually needs something. But if you lie to them, they're going to stop the search because you just said you're going to give it to them.
Right.
So I say that to say my mother used to tell me, you should tell people, kick rocks. But my attitude was always like, yeah, that's my approach. It's
Okay.
a silent
Okay.
assassin.
Okay.
What about you?
I don't know, because Chevette and I was just talking about this yesterday about how
Who's your bet again? I'm just playing.
the oldest.
Okay.
We were just talking
Cheap
about this
daughter.
yesterday about how we like to think that we're mean, but we're really not. You know? So it's like you'll be fussing about something, but then, and that's only to yourself or to your person who listens to you. But then when you're faced with the situation, you're going to do all that you can to give help to whoever asks, you know?
Right.
So I think because I'm not really mean, I try to say things like, oh, you know, I don't have it right now, or I got something else I need to do. Or I'll say, well, you know, I got to help so I can't do this right now. Or, you know, so it's like I try to let them down without just straight coming out saying, no, you can't have it.
Right.
I'm not helping you.
Right.
Get out of my face.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going that route. Man, I ain't giving you nothing.
Or it might take me a little time to reply, depending on the situation.
Whoa. You kind of borderline like me. You just giving them a pillow. Right? Me, my personality, I don't give them nothing.
Right.
It's like, yeah, and that's it. But I'm saying to myself, are you serious right now?
Yeah, I try to. I don't know. I
give
don't
them a
like to
pillow.
hurt people's feelings.
I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong.
Yeah.
Actually, I think my way is bad. But
It might be just a little bit.
it's the way I came up, baby. It's the way I came up, and it's the way I handle things as an only child. I ain't going into all that.
Well,
But
that's a whole different subject.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
So-
makes sense as
so
an
I'm
only
like,
child.
yeah, I'm like, I don't owe you any words, bro.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's always been one of my things. But so you give them a pillow and you try to let them down. You give them something to ease their mind. And you also say, hey, I don't have it, so you might want to get it from somebody else, or blah, blah, blah. That's basically what you're doing. Find another access point. Me, with me not saying anything, like, all right, or whatever. Or,
Yeah, they're like, okay, well, he probably gonna give it to me.
Or let me call you back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do that quite a bit.
Mm.
Yo, what was the thing we were looking at where the guy was like, yo, let me drink this water real quick. I'm going to call you right back.
Yeah. That TikTok video.
Yo, let me run upstairs real quick. I'm going to call you right back. I am the king of that. But I'm only like that when I think you violated my time. There was a comedian named Patrice O'Neill, and it's not funny, but it was funny to me. When you hear really negative words like rape, you know what goes into your mind. But he was saying there's other forms of rape. One form of rape is keeping me on the phone when I told you I gotta go and you keep asking me this stuff. Yo, you're raping my ear.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought that was funny when he said that. But you know, I'm not him, so I can't give it to you like that.
Right, because that was not funny.
It might not be funny, but it's serious.
I'm just saying.
You can you're killing me right now.
Okay.
You're
okay.
bending me over this table. I just told you I got to go.
Okay.
Think about it.
Okay.
Anybody that's listening, think about it. How many times have you been held hostage?
Oh, plenty of times.
on the phone because you're sitting there being nice.
Not just on the phone, just held hostage, period.
How many times have I said, oh, listen to this noise. Oh my God, I got to read this letter, man. I'm going to hit you right back.
Boy, please.
Or, oh, hold on. Yo, this is my doctor. Now, I might be giving away my secrets.
Well, yeah, you definitely done gave them all away.
But guess what else I'm doing?
What?
I'm also telling you, when you hear those, back up off me. But anyway.
It's Al and Yolanda. You got to be more careful.
We're gonna have a real show tonight.
We are so out of here.
But we out.
Entitlement. Stop it, people.
Do everything without wanting to do it
Stop
good.
it.
Please.
Have some empathy. Be aware of what's going on around you.
Definitely.
And stop this nonsense.
There you go.
Because if you meet Boosie, she gonna give you a pillow. I'm not giving you nothing.
Oh my goodness. Boy, go. We out.
Moment that all of you've been waiting for. It's the moment that all of you've been waiting for.
Yo, Al, what's that?
Al and Yolanda. You got to be more careful. Al and Yolanda. You got to